Welcome back to the Squared Circle Psychobabble. My name is Michael Valenti. This is Ralph Valenti, and it's time for Swerve Me Wrong, where I have 10 minutes to convince the popular opinion that they are completely wrong. And I'll admit, this is going to be tough because we're talking about Izzy. And Izzy getting chokeslam, causing a big outcry that she shouldn't be in the ring taking these bumps. I have 10 minutes to convince you, Ralph, that she should be in the ring taking bumps at 12 years old. There should be no age requirement to be taking chokeslams. So Frank, our PA, is in the back. He's got the 10 minutes on the clock. And we're starting the clock right now. Okay. So at 12 years old, it's very hard to decide what you want to be when you grow up. But some people know. I knew at 12 years old that I wanted to be in radio or television. So I started to do things. And here I am doing a podcast. And I actually work in television outside of this. So you start from somewhere, okay? You got to start from somewhere. If Izzy knows she wants to be a wrestler at 12 years old, people have trained at 13, 14, 15 years old. It's happened. Mm-hmm. So what is wrong with her training at 12 years old? And yes, I understand. It's a choke slam. But if you actually watch the video, it's not even that bad. The ref sells the choke slam more than the wrestlers do in this. You know? The guy has his hand behind her back. He goes to his knees. He slowly brings her down to the ring. It's only the environment of an independent show and the ref jumping like 5 feet in the air.
Yeah, he's selling it.
He's selling it.
He's supposed to.
You know, so obviously people are outcrying like, you should never put a 12-year-old girl in that kind of situation, getting chokeslammed. What's wrong with you? You know, one, if the parents are okay with it, if she's okay with it, if the wrestler giving the chokeslam's okay with it, then shut up. Well, shut up.
I get everything you're saying, but at the same time, I'm going to have to disagree. I don't think a 12-year-old girl should be getting chokeslammed by a full-grown man. Okay, and here's the reasoning. If you want to play professional football, that's fine. You go through the progressions. There's Pop Warner. There is, you play in middle school. You go to high school.
Well, what age do you start Pop Warner?
You don't see grown men on a Pop Warner field. That's my main point. If you want to play college football and you want to play in the professionals, you can't take a 12-year-old and go say, okay, well, you want to play in the big leagues? Okay, go take a tackle from Ray Lewis.
Here's the problem, though.
For good reason.
There's no other 12-year-olds training with her. So you can't put a 12-year-old with a 12-year-old if there's no other 12-year-old there.
Maybe you knew what you wanted to be when you're 12 years old, but not many other 12-year-olds actually know what they want to be when they grow up. So her saying, yes, I want to be a professional wrestler, maybe she does, maybe she doesn't end up being a professional wrestler. But my main point is this. There's no reason that a grown man should be allowed to chokeslam a 12-year-old girl in the ring. There's many things a woman or a 12-year-old girl cannot do in the United States of America. Being chokeslammed should probably be one of those things that's not socially acceptable.
Let's change the script a little bit. Instead of it being a grown man, what if it's a grown woman that chokeslams her?
No. So 12-year-olds should not be in a professional wrestling ring at all. The storyline with Nicholas was stupid with Braun Strowman. This was stupid. The whole thing is stupid. There's no point in it.
So if All In tonight had a surprise match where Nicholas took on Izzy.
You remember when Kenny Omega kicked the young girl in the face? Yeah. That was stupid. It's stupid. There's no reason for it. What does that do for the wrestling industry? Does that bring it forward or does it take it backwards?
It might take it back, yes. I agree with that.
What would happen if you took, let's say it was a boy. Well, if you took a 15-year-old boy.
Which wrestlers have started at 15 years old.
Okay, and you put him told him.
Becky Lynch started at 15.
That's great, but this is not when. This is a different day and age. There's things that just aren't acceptable. With everything in sports and everything in wrestling, with concussions and everything else, you cannot take that risk. Especially for something like professional wrestling, which has a hard enough time getting credibility. You can't put a 12-year-old girl in there getting chokeslammed by a man.
Okay.
If that happened in real life, what would happen to the man? He'd get arrested and put in jail.
But that's the difference between professional wrestling and the real world, though.
It shouldn't be, though. There's no reason for it.
But if she wants...
If that's the stuff that this guy's got to do to get himself over, it exposes the business.
He's not... First off, he's not trying to get over because she ended up winning the match. So...
It's even worse. That's exposing the business.
How's that exposing the business?
Because okay, you mean to
it is
a 12-year-old girl
it is
could take
it is a wrestling match at a training facility at some bingo hall.
And a 12-year-old girl, and it's all over the internet right now. A 12-year-old girl took a chokeslam and won the match. So the next time, how's that guy supposed to gain any credibility going forwards?
I understand that, but
exposing the business as a work, it's bad in all senses. Like I was saying, if a boy, 15-year-old boy, young man wanted to go and return a punt in the NFL and took a hit from a legitimate NFL player, wouldn't fly. This is no different. I don't think they should do it.
I mean, it's with 5 minutes left here. I just have to keep saying.
You're spinning your wheels.
You have Becky Lynch.
You got bodied.
Becky Lynch started at 15 years old. Paige started around 13 or 14 years old. You have to start somewhere.
You have to start somewhere, but I don't think starting the first thing that should happen is
kids these days are much more decisive than they have been in generations. People have.
That's your argument for this?
If she knows that she wants to be a professional wrestler, even if this is like the only time that she takes a bump, maybe after this she's like, you know what, maybe this isn't worth it. You have to start somewhere.
But a 15-year-old girl's frail body is not mature enough to be taking that type of abuse. I don't care.
It's not like she took a cane-like chokeslam and like went 10 feet in the air and threw her straight down. It wasn't even that bad of a chokeslam.
This guy was barely how big was this guy? What would you estimate his weight was?
6'2", $180.
Okay, you compare the strength of a guy that's 6'2", 280. You know, imagine
180,
whatever he was, 280, 180, 150. I don't care. Me, somebody who's not even a big imposing guy, choke slamming a 15-year-old girl. I could probably do some serious damage to a 15-year-old girl. There's no reason for it.
Yeah.
For the simple fact of the health of the girl, for the longevity of the business. Do you know when people probably look at that and say, I thought wrestling was fake, and now I think it's real fake if a 15-year-old girl could take a choke slam? Come on. Exposing the business.
I understand that. I really do understand that.
Okay.
But to try to convince you that it's okay for her, let's think about this for a second. Chelsea Green.
Wrong.
Chelsea Green, who is a trainer at this facility where Izzy was having this match. She said that...
Should be fired.
No, she said that Izzy was not trained to do those things. That she has been doing mat wrestling, okay? She's been doing mat wrestling, and this is the first time that she took a bump like this. She shouldn't be taking bumps like this. It is up to the parents to make that decision. So if the parents are saying, you know what, this is your dream, you want to take a choke slam,
should be thrown in jail for neglect then.
How is it neglect? If they feel
that's it. There's a serious problem if you think it's in your child's best interest to take a choke slam in a professional wrestling ring.
But it wasn't even that bad of a choke slam.
Oh my!
Did you watch the video?
Yes, I watched the video.
And do you see?
I wouldn't let my daughter get choke slammed. Not at 15 years old.
No.
Would you let me choke slam you? How old are you?
30.
Would you let me choke slam you?
I let you choke slam me since we were 5 years old, Ralph.
Yeah, but how old were you and how old was I? We were getting choke slammed by grown men.
I understand that, but it's still the same bump. It's still hard wood that her back is leaning on.
I think you're spinning your wheels. Thank God he's got 2 minutes left because he doesn't know what he's saying over here. There must be something else other than water in that cup.
Nope. High quality H2O.
It's poisoned.
It's
Tested
not.
for lead and radon.
Definitely not. So then if 12 years old is too young, what is the right age?
Probably 18, like most things in the United States. You have to be a certain age to do things. It's usually 18. I understand permission, consent. If you're giving your child permission to go get choke slammed, I'm going to question your parenting. That's my take.
Don't you think they had some involvement with it, though? Like talking to the guy, making sure that the choke slam would have been done safely, and the choke slam was done safely?
Yeah, that's why I'm questioning it. And what if he screwed up? What if he hurt her?
That could happen in any wrestling match, though.
But that's an adult,
a guy
who understands the risks that they're taking.
So if Chelsea Green is correct in saying that Izzy's only been doing mat wrestling, she could be taking an arm bar.
Count him down.
She could be taking an arm bar and separate her shoulder if the guy does it wrong.
Yeah, but there's girls that are that age that are going to compete against each other in like an MMA tournament, in jiu-jitsu, stuff like that. That happens. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with a grown man manhandling a 15-year-old child.
If
You can't drive, you can't get chokeslammed.
So now we're saying 16 is okay.
No, I don't think that. I think that I don't think that it should have happened to begin with.
So my last 30 seconds here. Let me ask you this: if we're at like a party, and Uncle Boo, as your daughter likes to call me, Uncle Boo went up and I picked her up and threw her on the couch, playing along, but did it in a safe way. Would you have a problem with that?
No, but that's
That's
couch.
the same exact thing that happened here.
No.
That's the same exact thing.
Cut him off.
That is the end.
Drunk.
Definitely not. But that is the end of our Swerve Me Wrong segment. Let me know what you think. Should Izzy be allowed to be chokeslam? Vote on the poll on my head. Give us comments. I know everyone's going to be...
Roast him.
Please do, because that was the hardest thing I've ever had to... Even harder than trying to turn Roman Reigns heel. Or, yeah, saying that Roman Reigns shouldn't turn heel. But thank you all for listening to the Squared Circle Psychobabble this week. This has been the most intense arguing that we've had on this show. So hopefully we could do it in future episodes. My name is Michael Valenti. This is Ralph Valenti. We'll talk to you all next week on the Squared Circle Psychobabble.